just absolutely just run away from it's
I'm just
like
done. It's like, all
right.
right, see you, Anthony. I'm goodbye.
All right, right. So we on live, and you guys can see we're already having a good time here. What's going on? Caesar pointed at me. We've got a few people in here. CJ, Josh, appreciate you guys being here. Back again for another Venture Capital podcast. And this week we have a good friend, Mr. Eric Gal, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, hello. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Anthony.
Of course, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here, man, and everybody that's here right now. Tyree, we are live. Abdullahi, Sandru, what's going on, fellas?
Hello,
Appreciate you all being
hello.
here. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Um, I can't. All right. So, so you guys may or may not know. If you don't know, well, now you know. Eric Gao is in front of me, and he is a fellow credit card YouTuber. But actually, at this point, I feel like I would do you a disservice if I just called you a credit card YouTuber, just like some of the rest of us, these hacks out here like me. I mean, you've put out majority of credit card content, but you also have a lot of other interesting topics, such as like dividend investing. You used to have a dividend portfolio that you would update like weekly based on some earnings on a side hustle you had. ETF videos, so a lot of stock videos, and even now just starting some side hustle videos, kind of like with WAG and with Etsy and stuff like that, which we're going to get
Mhm.
into fairly soon. Which I'm actually
Mhm.
really excited to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
What's going on, John? And but honestly, just truthfully, some very interesting content, and that's where I find the most intrigue for you is, of course, you have great information, great topics that you cover in credit cards, like a lot of people. But it's the other side videos that you make that I really love, and it seems like your knowledge kind of spans out to a lot of different areas of finance, like we talked about stocks and credit cards, etc. And
Yeah.
then side hustle businesses that a lot of us don't really get into. So I'd love to get into all that. But of course, the first question for everyone, we always have to know, Eric, how are you doing today, sir? How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very, very nervous because I am an introvert at heart and I don't like talking in public until I get to know everyone. But yeah, I'm doing great. Good to
Gotcha.
be
Well,
here.
it's just you and me, man. That's it. I mean, it's 24 other
Yeah.
people, 24 other people, but it's just
Oh
you and me.
God. Oh God, 24 other people.
Just a good classroom looking at you. That's it. It's college,
Oh
but
my goodness.
and actually, Caesar said it right. He said Eric Gallo is the next Bill Gates. If you guys saw Chad Money Minutes video on the credit card
Oh yeah,
yearbook,
that was a great
uh,
video, great video.
right? You got the next Bill Gates, which is what I wanted to talk about, is all your side hustle and businesses
Yeah.
that you got started up. But before, honestly, we got into that, get into that, which will be in a few minutes. I just wanted to ask you, just so we can kind of go right into it. So we had a question that I thought would be interesting to start off with, which
Mhm.
was someone asked in the Discord, "Hey, Eric Gao, since he loves Capital One, he has a lot of cards. Has he ever been to a Capital One cafe?" And I know that you actually went to one today, right?
Yes, sir. So, my girlfriend and I were going to Washington, D.C., near the Georgetown area. We went to the Georgetown Capital One Cafe,
Hmm.
and we went there just to like hang out and just like walk around because that area is more of like a shopping district and whatnot. And so we went to that Capital One Cafe in Georgetown. We actually saw that they were like handing out these like free goodies. So if you're in Washington D.C., this is they're doing this every single Saturday. The guy told me every
Hmm.
single Saturday of the August month. And what I got in here is this. So we got 2 tote bags that basically is free advertising for Capital One, which I
Yeah,
love.
yeah, right.
You also get this like free water bottle, which is great. Also advertising for Capital One. And the
Oh, that's
most
nice.
surprising thing that I'm like super excited about is this super big Capital One beach towel that was for free as well. So
That is nice.
basically all you have to do is like answer like a question and you put a post-it note on the board, but then the dude just gives you everything for free. So that was pretty great. Pretty
Do
good
you
fun.
do you get all the stuff if you get the answer wrong too?
No, it was just one of those like just answer the question and you get to pick whatever you want. And
Mm.
yeah, and for those of you out there that have never been to a Capital One cafe, this is why you need a Capital One credit card. But the cafes are pretty abundant in like most popular cities like New York or Seattle. I've been to the Seattle one too.
Hmm.
Washington D.C. is like a Capital One hub because I think their headquarters is in like Tyson's or something
Mm.
in Virginia. So they have a lot of locations there. But but yeah, like if you get a Capital One credit card and you go to a Capital One cafe, they have these like I guess like this brewery, like a Starbucks-esque place, and everything there is 50% off. If you have like a Capital One Venture X or a Saver One credit card, everything's 50% off. So
Hmm.
my girlfriend and I got matcha lattes for like two of them for like $6, which is unheard of, especially in Washington,
Mm.
DC. So if you're in Washington, DC, I implore you to get one. But
Wow. Actually,
yeah.
JJ in the chat, he says he's at a Capital One cafe right now in Houston Galleria.
Oh,
Wow.
see?
Gotta
See, he can vouch for the 50% off.
right. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I see. I
No,
learned about
yeah.
that from Calby's video when he went to, I guess, headquarters and all those. I didn't realize, like, oh, he had a Capital One card. Is it so? It's any Capital One card you can get the 50%
I
discount.
believe so. So the Capital One cards I have right now are the Venture X and the Saver One. And
Hmm.
before I had the Saver One, I was just pulling out my Venture X like always. But then I pulled out the Saver One today, and she took it like everything else. So
Huh.
I would think that the QuickSilver, the Platinum cards work too. It's just like the question she asks is, "Do you have a Capital One card?" And if you do, it seems like yeah, it seems like 50% off. So it's pretty good.
Hmm. I may have
Yeah.
to mosey on in there with my Capital One secured platinum card.
No, I think you'll get 50% off. It's like
But-
and they have, like, everything. They have all coffees, they have fruit drinks as well if you're a fruit drinker, but yeah, pretty
wow,
good time there.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool, man. Yeah, I really gotta. Really gotta venture to some of those, to be honest. Um,
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I've studied in there and just, like, worked in there too, so
really, they don't bother you. They don't tell you to get out ever.
no, it's like a combination between this is their, like, thing where they are combining the, like, a WeWork atmosphere with a, like, Capital One, like, standard banking atmosphere. It's supposed to make it more fun,
Hmm.
but when we went today, it was just packed with, like, people who are actually working. There were, like, kids, maybe, like, I don't know, 15 to 18-year-olds just chilling there eating food, but it
Yeah.
seems like a pretty, like, homey atmosphere, so I really like it.
Huh. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to eventually get to one, but there's
Yeah,
none near here.
you should come up to DC.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah.
That's funny. And actually, Luke came in and he said, "Capital One should have taken all your swag away from you for putting the World of Hyatt card at God tier in your video." Ridiculous. Oh my god.
I think the World of High is a pretty good card. Maybe God tier was a little too high. Maybe A tier is where it's supposed to be, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, that free night. I don't know. That
Free
free
night
night.
voucher is great.
Couple $100 probably in profit. Uh,
At least amongst the, Chase credit cards, I would say it's more of a God tier, but I don't know.
mm,
That's just my opinion.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
What's going on? DC Gemini, JJ, Victor, Rojas asking if I secretly live in my car. The answer is yes. Um, the Dollar Man coming in, just making sure everybody's here. Michael, Abdullahi, John McKinstry, Michael Wong. What's going on, guys? So that's interesting. So that's cool. That's $200 is gone. It's good value, Luke. But maybe there's something that gives us 400 or 800. We gotta see. There's still a
Well,
lot to learn.
nothing beats the Hilton Aspire card, so I
Oh yeah,
understand what Luke is trying to say here,
it's
but
true. It's true.
yeah, yeah.
So you did mention that you have so those are your only two Capital One cards, the Venture X and the Saver.
Yeah, so I completed the Capital One Saver one pretty recently, I think a month ago, just to complete the Capital One Duo. But if you just to show a bit about my channel, recently made a video ranking all the Capital One credit cards, and spoiler alert, I think there's only two cards you should get, and that's the Saver one and the Venture X, and everything else is pretty garbage.
Oh my
You can reasonably argue for the Saver and the Venture credit cards, but just for like the majority of people, I think the Capital One Duo is where it should be.
so could you tell me definitively why? Like if there's somebody that comes to you and be like, no, listen, man, I think the Amex trifecta can outperform. I think the Chase trifecta can outperform. What is it about the Capital One Duo that makes you think like, hey, it's good for most people out there? What do you think?
All right, we'll start with the AMX trifecta. First of all, it's $945.
Right.
I'm not paying half a full month's rent if you're paying like $1,000, $2,000 for rent. I'm not paying that much money for three cards.
Hmm.
Um, especially because Amex with the platinum card just nuked it with the, authorized users and increasing the authorized users. It's just not a good deal, and to be fair, like, in terms of earnings potential, it's not really great as well. I mean, one of the cards is a business credit card, and there's that stigma where apparently if it's a business credit card, it's harder to get it as a personal user, so I don't know. The Amex Trifecta to me is just not that good in my opinion.
Hmm.
There are some of the benefits out there that, like, one can argue the $1,500 in benefits, but one can also argue that if you don't live in a city, you're not going to be utilizing all of the benefits. Like for me
Hmm.
personally, I've lived probably in a suburban area all my life, and
Hmm.
when studying the Amex Platinum card, like that was the first time I learned about Saks Fifth Avenue.
Hmm.
Like that, like down here we have Dillard's or like Nordstrom.
Dillard's.
Like I don't know what
Oh
Saks Fifth
lord.
Avenue is, and it's only when I went to Seattle with my girlfriend recently that oh, there's an actual physical store. I
Mm.
I didn't I didn't even know that they had stores. So it's
Yeah.
like in terms of that, I don't think the AMX trifecta is good. I mean, you could some people can argue it, and it's definitely for a specific demographic of people, and I think that American Express is kind of shifting towards that direction with all the authorized user changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. The chase trifecta is a little different because you can also say you can argue that the chase trifecta includes like the Chase Sapphire Preferred. You don't have to
Mhm.
necessarily go to Chase Sapphire Reserve route and
Yeah.
have a higher annual fee.
True.
Um, Domestically, I think the Chase trifecta is kind of unbeatable in the sense that it has like I think it has Delta and Southwest as transfer partners or something like that. I
Hmm.
don't know, that and it's a $95 trifecta in the first place, so it's not really that expensive. Anyone reasonably can get that trifecta without breaking a sweat, unlike the
Hmm.
American Express trifecta.
Yeah.
So there's not really any complaint there. I think it's a great trifecta, but once you go to the CSR side, there might be a little bit more of an argument there. $550 annual fee minus the $300 in the travel credit that you get. Effective annual fee is $250, but you can also argue that there's a lot of earnings potential with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So you
Hmm.
can there's arguments to that side as well. But the reason why I love the Capital One trifecta so much is that it's just very easy to use for someone like me who doesn't really necessarily might get into the end game of credit cards in the future, and just it's just more common. It's just more easy to use for like the common person. You
Hmm.
only need two credit cards. You don't really need like an encyclopedia of which one does what. For example, like the Capital One Venture X is a travel credit card, so you're going to
Yeah.
spend it on flights and hotels and maybe car rentals if you do that. But
Mm.
it's also a great catch-all card. That's a 2X, which is competitive amongst the general market.
Yeah.
And then the Saver One credit card or the Saver, if you're a little richer than I am, because it has a $95 annual fee,
Hmm.
it can be justified in some people's pockets, but not all. But with the
Yeah.
Saver One credit card, it earns 3x back in so many entertainment-esque categories like dining, groceries,
Hmm.
what was it, entertainment and popular streaming services.
Yeah.
It's just one of those cards that, oh, if my Venture X can't do it with all the travel stuff, then it's probably going to be the Saver One. The one caveat I do have is gas, but that's just something that all of these trifectas don't really touch up on, and so you probably need
Yeah.
like a city custom cash just to round it out. But
Mm.
in terms of that, the argument here with all the trifectas, just to wrap up this question, Amex trifecta too expensive. I don't see myself like at least for me personally. I'm 26 years old. I haven't really like solidified my grounding with my career or anything like that. I wouldn't say I have the most money in the world, so the trifecta doesn't really make the Amex trifecta doesn't really make sense for me.
Mm.
Chase trifecta, I've completed it. It's great. There's arguments that can be made. If you're more of a domestic traveler, it makes sense for you. Capital One trifecta, if you're an immigrant. Just kidding.
If you're
Because it's better for international travel. But
right.
if you're someone who doesn't really want the fatigue of understanding what card to pull out, it makes sense with the Capital One trifecta. Yeah.
You laid out a great argument, honestly, and it makes me think like, hey, that's fairly interesting. It's true, less to think about it's also something where, like, actually Luke kind of pointed out, he says somehow Amex trick young people that don't travel into buying into a system that isn't just for them, and it kind of makes sense. It's like, hey, someone mentioned like, hey, if I just have the Capital One Duo with the Venture X,
Mhm.
I may only have to just travel. I just have to travel once per year, and that kind of justifies everything. As
Yeah,
opposed to a Platinum, it's like, well, it's probably more than 3 times. It's probably more than everybody's
yeah.
kind of experience varies depending on which lounges they hit, etc. So it definitely makes a lot of sense, and it seems like the Capital One ecosystem is just a lot more versatile, right? Like because you can move your
Mhm.
cash back to miles to points, etc.
Yeah.
Depending how you can use them. So would you say like quite literally for most people, like people who literally are just maybe taking a vacation per year, and then people who are just living like normal, buying stuff at the grocery store every day, is that that this setup would be the best for them?
I think just based on what the Capital One Duo offers, I would say it's probably more common for the most common people who use credit cards.
Hmm.
I don't know, for me, for instance, today I went to this, Ethiopian restaurant, sidetrack a little bit,
Yeah.
but this really famous Ethiopian restaurant in DC, it's called, it's I don't wanna butcher the name, but it's Keren, Karen? Keren? Like this
Huh.
Ethiopian restaurant, but
Yeah.
afterwards, we went to this small Japanese grocery store, and I was in line buying stuff, and this man in front of me pulls out the Amex Trifecta. I mean, the AM eh
The
he
whole
pulls out
trifecta.
he pulls out the Amex Platinum card to pay
Yeah.
for it, and I'm like, "Dude, you're only getting 1X. What are you doing?" It's just
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be honest here. I don't really like the Amex Platinum card. I think it's more of a status for a lot of people. People pull it out just to flex that they have the platinum card, and not really like normal people who don't truly understand credit cards and how to use them
Hmm.
properly. They're gonna say, "Oh, the Amex Platinum card looks so cool. It's like a status symbol. Imma get it, and that's gonna be the only card for me."
Hmm.
Boom, $695. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If you're not using $695 worth of credit, it's really not a credit card that you should get. If you're not traveling like 3 or 4 times every single year, really not a credit card to get. Like, comes with a lot of benefits, that's great, but, like, if you're
Hmm.
not gonna use them all the time, there's not really any reason to get the card.
Hmm.
On the flip side, Capital One with the Duo, the Capital One Venture X is a $395 card, but you get $300 in travel credit, so it's a $95 annual fee, effectively. Then, every single anniversary, you get a bonus 10,000 miles, which then you can just you can just change it over to straight cashback, and that's $100 in cashback. It's a great card. I don't know. It's just more of a. I think it's more for the common people. Like
Hmm.
some people might like the platinum card, and for those of you out there that do, no shame for that. I just for me personally, and for I think a majority of people, it just doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
that that's I think that's a very it makes a lot of sense. I think for a lot of people who are just trying to justify some spend. In fact, I was kind of looking at it a little bit earlier when I was doing something for a video, and I was trying to figure out like, hey, what's all the differences like in the saver, because I was really kind of looking into it versus like Amex Blue Cash Preferred, and I was like, well, wait a second. I was like, Blue Cash Preferred, you can't do anything with the cash back with the Amex. That's gonna stay as cash back. You can't convert it to miles or points, whatever.
yeah.
There's a foreign transaction fee on that. There is none on the saver. You have like the whole dilemma of the U.S. supermarkets, and I think is the saver just can you get is it grocery spent
So
anywhere or?
so that's a data point that someone mentioned in one of my videos. He said that it does code for everything that it should code for
Hmm,
internationally as well. So that's great.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. See that like that right there too. Another bonus on there. Um, very very true. I'm trying to
yeah.
see. There's some people. Peace out, Michael Wong doing some yard work.
See you,
Um,
Michael.
Victor Rojas
Ciao.
said, one thing I do like about the Duo is that you actually swipe the more expensive travel card since it gets 2x versus like a Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve Platinum, which gets
Mhm.
1x. Interesting. Cal Barton is in here, hitting the like button. Appreciate you, man. Um, Chase card is for the everyday man. Hmm. So you got some people that are, they definitely get some value with the Platinum. Definitely some people out there for sure, but it makes sense. Depends on you. It's variable. Um,
Yeah, if I'm not creating controversy, it's just not content here.
it's not- we need controversy. We need more
Yeah.
controversy in the credit card world, right? Along with that, we also actually kind of ties into another question we got from the Discord, which was, okay, so you have these Capital One cards. Where do you find the most value? Like, because I'm assuming you use the travel portal a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
they kind of ask, and people do wonder, like, where do you get the most value from the travel portal? Like, is it just through the portal itself, or are you transferring these things out?
So, right now, at least, I don't find myself using the points very often. Like,
Hmm.
I know that you have that philosophy, if you're not using the points, it's just considered nothing for right now.
Hmm.
And it kinda makes sense. Like, Capital One, unfortunately, does have more transfer partners that are international.
Hmm.
That is just something that I'm just currently right now saving up for because
Yeah.
I do have an immigrant background. I am Chinese, so I will utilize these transfer partners for Asian countries like Cathay Pacific, for example, which is
Hmm.
very easy to use. Most of those transfer rates are about like 50 to 100,000 points for anywhere between economy to business to first class. So that's great for me to use. But at least
Hmm.
for right now, I'm not really using it too often. Um, but the car that I'm pulling at the most and like the hotels and flights that I'm using the most is probably going to be the Capital One travel portal. I actually do really enjoy using the travel portal
Hmm.
because it they have this collaboration with a I think it's like a saving like flights and hotel
Yeah.
app called Hopper. Their user interface, it's very user friendly. Most people can pretty use most people can understand it pretty well. And
Hmm.
I don't know. For me personally, I just like the fact that it's a travel portal that when compared to anything that you find in Google Flights, they're pretty equivalent. Like 99% of the time, you're going to find equal amounts in flights, the equal dollar amount, if not slightly cheaper. I don't know why. Capital One has this weird thing where they make it $1 cheaper than,
Really?
than the stuff that you find on like Google Flights for the exact same flight. Just $1 cheaper. It's really weird.
Really? Huh.
But I don't know. I like the travel portal for me personally, and the flights and stuff on there are relatively the same price. And
Hmm.
they also have this thing where they have price match guarantee, which is great. I feel a little more protected. Some people have mentioned that they have bad experiences with that. For me personally, I haven't, but those are data points to keep in mind
Hmm.
just in case that ever happens to you, for example.
Hmm.
But they also have this thing where they will alert you if a price changes. That's just something great to have, especially if you're eyeing a flight that you need to hit a certain dollar amount. That's great too. But yeah, I generally for all my flights and stuff, I do use the travel portal. It's just for me, fundamentally, it's easy to use. I know that some people don't like travel portals. I have access to Chase's travel portal, and to me, barely it looks kind of garbage. But like I don't have the AMX travel portal, so I can't quote on that. But
Hmm.
I don't know. For me personally, Capital One's travel portal, they're doing it right. Everything about it just looks pretty clean to me. But
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, you got me thinking, like, because I've never had access to the Capital One travel portal. I didn't really necessarily realize it's like it has a lot of, I guess, international travel partners. Someone who wants to go
Yeah.
to, I guess, a lot of Asian countries or just internationally in general. Myself, it's getting me
Mhm.
thinking, like, should we actually stay true to our name and get the Anthony Venture X card? I don't know, maybe, maybe in the future.
You should get it now because I know that Daniel Brown recently posted that video where he was denied for the second time, right? So Capital One has that weird thing where they prefer people to apply for Capital One venture like Capital One credit cards with less credit cards to their names than rather than more. I don't know. That's just I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know why they do that, but for me personally, I've never really had any issues with Capital One, but I know that there are people out there that have had a ton of issues. So
Huh.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, making me think about it, making me changing my mind a little bit here. Okay.
I mean, effectively, the Venture X is paying you $5, but I mean,
Yeah.
I see that people are saying Victor Rojas the third says Amex claims that 99% of the places that take Amex, but man, Am I just traveling to that 1%?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a ton of negative stories about American Express and international places. They do charge a little more for merchant fee transactions than Visa and MasterCard do, and that's
Mm,
why a lot of places will say that they don't want American Express, and I completely agree with that. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
not like CJ said, it's probably 99% of United States. I've heard horror
Right.
stories about American Express and going out to internationally. I mean, I think what was it? Spencer also mentioned recently in one of his videos where he said that him and his girlfriend went somewhere. I think it
Hmm.
was the Bahamas or something, and he tried to pay with the Amex card, didn't work. He luckily
Oh,
had a Chase Visa card, and it worked. So
huh.
I don't know. I don't know. Especially
Uh,
with all the rampant AMX changes, I don't know. Maybe you
oh
should
Lord.
switch to Capital One side.
Oh
I
no.
don't know. I don't
What
know. Am I
we need
convinced you, Anthony?
we need another video. We need why Capital One's gonna crush the competition.
Exactly.
We need that.
Exactly.
We need one of those to come back out.
Exactly.
That is so funny. And someone actually mentioned earlier, not, I forget who, but they said actually also like Capital One is pretty good with their bank accounts too. I've had myself personally a
Yes,
Capital
sir.
One savings account, a 360 savings accounts for many, many years. I have since moved it, but that
Mhm.
offered me like the best, APY out of any other bank at that time. It's just now actually there's no physical Capital One banks anywhere near me now, being in South Carolina.
That is one of the negative things. Capital One, in terms of like brick and mortar banks, they're not as prevalent as like a Wells Fargo, but I mean Wells Fargo is absolute trash anyways, but or like of a Bank America or something like that. So yeah, I
Hmm.
definitely agree with you. I actually personally do not have a Capital One savings account because
Hmm.
I've always been Team Ally since Graham Stephan like mentioned it
Ooh.
like 5 years ago or whatever in
Right.
one of his videos. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like the Capital One savings account and all the I don't know, they have like these offers for like 200, $500 if you like switch over to them, make an account with them. But when you make like one of those videos of the best high yield savings accounts in 2023, there's
Hmm.
always the contingency that the Capital One Savings 360 account will always be there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Capital One is doing a lot of things right. There are some missteps along the way, but that's with any other company as well. Like I would say that the American Express increase is a little bit of a misstep for them, especially because
Hmm.
there was literally no notice for you guys. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
Hmm. No, definitely. I guess it all comes down to marketing and what actually is given on these products. Like, of course, yeah, we had all these Amex changes the last few days. We've had a bunch of people kind of come out and kind of talk about it. And of
Hmm.
course, raising fees for certain things or taking certain things away, etc. Capital One hasn't necessarily changed any of their cards, at least recently, as opposed, other than like designs. Um,
Hmm.
but it is something to be said, and definitely Amex is a, they are a bit of a liar in certain cases. Like Chad came in, he mentioned that he was using it in, I think he said Spain and France or in Paris, no
Hmm.
problem, or London and Paris, no problem. I've heard mostly when people have issue with Amex, it's like Latin America or Asian countries. Like those, what I heard being the hardest to
That's
find places
unfortunate.
that
That's
accept
unfortunate
Amex.
because I would go to probably go to an Asian country. So I definitely yeah, that's really
Right.
unfortunate. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I definitely say they. And other reason I say they lie is if we looked at it recently. If you go on Amex's website and be like, oh, uh, no annual or no foreign transaction fee cards, and like some other one, it's like half of the list has foreign transaction fees. It's like, why even put this on your list here? Like, is nobody updating this?
Yeah, I don't know. I complained about the Amex Gold Card in the rankings video, and someone did point out that restaurants is worldwide, but then the dining and the takeout is not. So I don't know. I just don't
Hmm.
understand how for like grocery stores and some parts of the dining experience with the Amex Gold Card, it's a U.S. based only card, but then there's a no
Hmm.
foreign transaction fee. It's just for me, it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to have a whole
Yeah.
market. And oh my man,
Oh,
I
shoot.
didn't. Can I actually wait a second? There's a little thing that popped up that I can maybe
Yeah,
do something.
it was a dollar man for $4.99.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Let's go. Dollar man, appreciate you, man. Little spending money at Bucky's.
Spending money.
Little spending money for Bucky's. Thanks for doing what you do, AV, Anti-Venture. Shout out to Eric Gal, love your content and style. Man, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
That's a really
Appreciate
nice
it.
thing to say, man. Because you know we're going to Bucky's pretty soon. I'm gonna have to. I'm
Dude, I wanna go to a Bucky so bad. My little brother went one time, and then he bought a shirt, and we were in Maryland, getting raw oysters or whatever, and
mm.
some dude at the bar just, like, tapped my little brother on the shoulder, like, "You been to Bucky's?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, I've been to Bucky's."
What
They,
the
like,
hell?
bonded. They're, like, best friends now at this point, but, yeah, it was just yeah, Bucky's is world known in the US, but I've never been. I
Wait a
gotta
second.
go.
Who's best friends? The older man and your younger brother?
Yeah, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it.
better better
Yeah,
hope there's no grooming situation. That's all I'm gonna say. But hope he's
yeah.
okay. But no, I appreciate that dollar, man. I'm gonna save that $5. So when me and Eric eventually go to a Bucky's together, I'll get him the pulled pork sandwich or a
Yes,
t-shirt. I
sir.
guess one of those two.
Yes, sir.
That'll be good. Appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
that is so funny. Um, have you been to Bucky's? It honestly, now having been there, Bucky's is it's pretty powerful. Like I've yet to I said this on another stream. I've yet to see another company like as powerful. Like I've never
Mhm.
seen such branding and marketing in my life. Like every single thing in the store is not everything, but like 90% of things are Bucky branded. It's like, whoa, like that's cool. Like I get it, private labeling and all that stuff. Not the hardest
Yeah,
thing in the world, but you don't see that anywhere else. Like I don't go to I don't know. Like you see it in Whole Foods occasionally. You'll see like the Whole Foods 360 brand, but man,
yeah.
Bucky's. Mm, 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 mm.
I've heard Buc-ee's is wild, and, like, someone tried to compare it to a Costco. It's like, "Oh, it's like going to a Costco." I'm like, I watched one of those YouTube videos, and no, there's no way. It's
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah, Buc-ee's just looks great. I really wanna go. Yeah, we'll go one
There,
day.
I want we had an idea to like dress up as a Bucky, like the costume of
The
Bucky's,
mascot.
and come in at like midnight and just cause problems.
Oh my god, that would be fun. I'd
Right?
be down to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's yeah. I forgot there was a name for him, but it was, I forget what we came up with. Um,
yeah.
that's funny. Um, actually, Luke kind of pointed something out that I wanted to bring up that I wasn't aware of. He said Capital One just took away their priority pass. That's actually a big deal if you travel. I wasn't aware of that.
Capital
Have
One
you heard?
took it away? That
Like
is
for all cards? Huh.
I
That's
didn't know
interesting.
that.
So in the meantime, as you research and cut me off whenever you do,
Yeah.
um, John came in says Anthony Venture EV. Are you still utilizing the God Trifecta? Well, I can't say trifecta because I don't have the World of Hyatt card, but the bifecta, yes. I'm using uh, curve built, and then the Yada card for my Godzilla trifecta. Ridiculous thing. So I've been using it like crazy. Built up a lot of. Oh, he said the restaurant portion.
Oh, yeah,
For,
but I
hmm,
don't know. I mean, theoretically, the CSR is the only card out there, aside from, I think, like, the US Bank that has not taken away the priority pass access, with the
hmm,
restaurants and stuff, but for me personally, I haven't run into issues with that. I know that, like, for, like, a subreddit group of credit cards, r/credit cards, some people have complained, like, I don't know. Some people have complained about that. I completely understand why you would feel negative towards that, but for me
hmm,
personally, I haven't had any issues. I don't know, but
hmm.
definitely something to watch out for.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
something, right? And then you never know what's going to come into fruition years from now. It's we just kind of see it as it comes. Things get taken away, things get added.
Yeah.
Nothing's constant forever in this world, huh? Especially the credit card world.
Yeah.
Kind of going into a little bit. So you've been making these videos. So I saw you months ago. I think you did a Saver one versus an Amex Gold. You did
Mhm.
some of these comparison videos, and then more
Mhm.
recently, you've been kind of talking about either like these tiered lists. So you've been going through Chase's whole line of credit cards and Amex's whole lines, and now Capital One,
Mhm.
and some more in the works, of course. Kind of just going through and just saying which one is better than the other, from I guess God tier down to like trash tier, um, which have been a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Mhm.
And also, and I think a lot of people do agree with certain messages. It's just a fun way to go about it and kind of categorize everything.
Mhm.
Um, was that kind of like your inspiration to kind of just have everything all in one and just kind of give your brief thoughts on everything?
So tier list videos, in my opinion, have always been pretty popular. People have been ranking like anything since the age of the internet. Like,
It's
I know
true.
like
Mm.
there's like if you search up like tier list ranking videos, I think like the most popular ones are like ranking like different bags of chip flavors and seeing which one, in their opinion, is the best one. So
Really?
I
Hmm.
just thought, like, right now I'm currently in the job market of finding a new job, so, like, my personal life a little bit is just, like, a little bit diverted towards that, and so
Hmm.
instead of trying to make these videos that are a little more niche down and trying to focus a lot more on, like, specific things within the credit card world, I just kinda decided that in order to learn a lot more about credit cards in a short amount of time, these videos just tend
Hmm.
both, like, from a standpoint of just making these videos tend to do well just because everyone loves the tier list video. You don't know what card
Hmm.
will go where on the next one, but also it's just like I'm just accumulating a lot of knowledge that not necessarily I knew about the first 1 or 2 runs of, like, looking at the card. For example, I didn't know that there was a Bass Pro Shop card, for example, like, I didn't know that that was a thing, and, like,
Yeah.
a lot of people with the Capital One, tier list video that I just came out with, like, people talked about how they didn't know about a certain card. For
Hmm.
example, like, the, Key Rewards, like, 4 credit cards that are literally the same cards. Like, that one, Spencer and
Huh.
I joked that it was a Amex Gold card killer because it earns 4% back at grocery stores and 4% back at dining, which is exactly the same thing as the Amex Gold card does
Yeah.
if you're returning it for cashback only and not just membership reward points.
Yeah.
But it's a no annual fee card. So I don't know
What?
if you're team cashback, maybe the key rewards, like I think it's like the Pottery Barn key rewards, and then the Williams Sonoma key rewards, and
Whoa.
yeah, those cards earn 4% back in dining and grocery stores, and then also like 5% back if you're a huge Williams Sonoma fan.
Yeah.
5% back there. So I mean, those are pretty decent cards in my opinion. If you're team cashback, obviously, most of the credit card world is team points, but yeah, pretty good cards.
That's a video you should make. The Amex Gold Card killer. People
Dude,
would be like,
I get so much flack for it. I
huge. That
mean,
would be so funny. In the intro would be like, I don't have just one card that will kill the Amex. I got four. The
I
key.
got 4,
Yeah.
and because they're from Capital One, they look all the same.
Right.
So it's like, yeah,
That's funny. Oh, and John said, Eric, especially for noobs like me who are just learning the CC game,
mhm,
ranking tier video is a good way to get a good feel for options. Yeah, I think it's powerful for
exactly.
that, and not many people have
Yeah.
done it. So I think that's kudos to you. Um, Another thing I kind of wanted to dive into, which was you're one of the few people in the credit card community that actually, like I said, spans into stocks and some other things. But you've also got into the world over the years of posting. You've talked about kind of like side hustles. Which
Yeah.
of course is always very interesting, and everybody wants to know how to make a little bit of money on the
Mhm.
side for something. And more recently, um, you put out a video. I forget the exact title, but essentially you tried starting a AI print business on Etsy. Um, which I actually
Yeah.
wanted to mention. I really appreciate you making that video because otherwise I wouldn't have this. One of your AI
Oh,
prints.
shoot! Yes, sir! It's a French bulldog print. Yes, sir.
Really appreciate you, man. I've been hanging this in my room ever since you posted the video. I love it. This
Yeah.
is this is
Yeah.
the works. And this was
I
made by
appreciate
AI.
that.
Yeah, no problem.
That was made by AI. You're absolutely right.
I need to put this. I need to somehow leave this somewhere that people can see.
Yeah.
Put it right
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Before
Let
we
me
go
see.
into that,
Yeah.
with the side hustle, Aaron said, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the 4% on groceries, dining, and entertainment for the $95 Saver metal card? Yes, it is. I think
Hmm.
it's one of them. I think it's the 3% on grocery stores is the only one that isn't 4% on the $95 Saver credit card.
Hmm.
But it is unlimited spending. There is no cap. So
Hmm.
some people can justify it, if you're spending more. That's the only one compared to the Saver one, which has no annual fee. That's a little different. It's 1% different. For those of you out there that spend a lot of money on dining and entertainment and everything else, that might be justifiable, but for
Mm,
the everyday person, the Saver One credit card is definitely gonna be something I'd recommend leaning towards. But yeah,
mm,
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Definitely. Huh.
Yeah, but to go but to go into those videos, I don't know, I have a bit of undiagnosed ADHD at this point
Oh
where
my
I
god.
just where I just like making videos personally just for the enjoyment of making videos. Like if you look back to my channel when I first started YouTube in the first place, I made videos on tech and I would review like the iPhone 13 Pro Max when it came out or the
Hmm.
Apple Watch, for example, when that came out. And quickly I realized that how expensive the overhead was to make those videos because you have to be able to purchase that product within a short time frame of it being released so that there's still hype around that product when you review that video.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just spending $1,000 on a phone and then talking about it for like 10 minutes was just not a viable option.
Mhm.
And so my passion with YouTube is just I kind of just like doing testing out stuff and like doing stuff. And obviously I love talking about finance and I have done like the stock videos and the dividends and just like overall finances and the side hustles, for example, which I highly recommend if you are a dog lover that doesn't really have time to fully take care of a dog 24/7 to go on Rover. I don't know.
Hmm.
I personally had a great experience. Unfortunately, my living situation right now doesn't really prohibit me from doing that, but it's definitely something I'll be doing in the future when I have a bigger yard or something like that, so the dogs
Hmm.
don't feel neglected or anything.
Right.
But for the video inspiration for like the new video that I created, which was using Midjourney to
Hmm.
create digital AI prints, like the one that Anthony just showed up right there. It's a French bulldog one. That's a combination of my love for Rover and the French bulldog and Boston Terrier being one of my favorite dog breeds just because of how ugly they look. I think it's ugly
Right.
cute.
Right.
Hashtag hashtag Pete Davidson out there. But
Oh my god.
but yeah, I just like I think credit cards is a great niche to be in, and I think there's a lot to talk about. But at certain points in the day, sometimes I just don't feel like posting a credit card video. For my opinion, sometimes it can be a little oversaturated. So I do like posting other types of content, especially in the finance realm, because I feel like for a lot of the most popular finance creators, they talk about more broad topics, and
Hmm.
so that's just something that I want to tap into. And like for the future of my channel, I do want to eventually go over to to traveling and eating. For example,
Right. Yeah.
I have huge aspirations in the future for like being able to travel with all of the credit card points that I earn now, and like be able to like go around the world and be able to eat anything I want and then talk about my experiences, kind of like a food vlogger. I know like if those of you out there that do watch that type of content, like Strictly Dumpling is one that I've
Hmm.
watched, but he's kind of falling off right now. We're not going to quote on that,
Oh
or
my
like
god.
or like a Mark Weens. Like I love his
Hmm.
videos as well. Or I think there's this white guy. I forgot his name. It's like the greatest food show. I think it's his like moniker on YouTube, but he's like this white guy in Vietnam. It's like this pretty buff dude.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he also makes those types of videos too. So I aspire to do that in the future. But in
Hmm.
terms of everything, I like talking about finance. I don't think there's anything really off limits. I think as my channel grows, the more people will find those videos interesting, and it's just something I like to do. Like credit cards can feel a little stale at times, so I like to just broaden my reach and talk about that more. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you guys want to, I mean, I do have an Etsy store technically up. I'm currently in the process of like making another video, so it's no longer called like Fang Creations or whatever. I think it's now called like Travel Partner Designs, and I'm going to be focusing a little more on vintage travel posters,
Hmm.
which I personally enjoy making. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I gotta say, oh, what's going on, Tito? And Dollar Man said, Eric Cow thinks Pete Davidson is ugly cute, and Anthony Venture Live, trademark exclusive. We gotta
I
cut
don't
that.
know. I don't know how he dates the women that he dates. In my opinion, I think I don't know. Some people like that look. I don't know.
Hey,
It's
man,
hey,
he
ugly
can
cute.
Listen, Pete Davidson could be any race at any time. He's he's tall.
Yeah.
And he's funny. I think
He's a
that's a good
funny dude.
lesson. I think it's a
He's a
good
funny
lesson.
dude.
We're actually
Yeah.
from the same hometown, Staten Island. Me and Pete Davidson. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, he gets a bad rap at home, but I like him. I think he's funny. I've seen him live. But
Wow.
yeah, he definitely pull. I mean, we had a Kim Kardashian pull. We had an Ariana
Oh,
Grande pull.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
A Hillary Clinton pull, from what I heard.
The what?
Yeah,
Hillary
man.
Clinton.
I've heard
Yo,
Pete Davidson, Hillary Clinton getting down, but I'm not sure.
yo.
Um,
William Clinton better watch out, that's all I'm saying.
yeah, right.
Oh my
William.
god.
Oh Lord, Aaron said that
Yeah.
skinny half unalive look always attracts the ladies. Yeah. Hey man, might just be personality. You never know. You never know.
Definitely think it's the funny aspect that wins it out for him.
Definitely, I think so.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's great. Oh God. I remember when I saw him live at the St. George Theater in Staten Island. He was with John Mulaney, and he
Mhm.
came out wearing overalls that had like paint all over it. Like he literally just got done painting like Pee Wee's Playhouse or something. It was like every color you can think of. Okay, walking out like this. I was like, what the hell? I think that was that what happened that day. It was either that or that was the special, but either way, he came out with something crazy. Um, and but he was just being
Sounds like
ridiculous.
him. Sounds like him.
He's pulling these women like Pokemon cards.
Collecting them all.
All right. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh lord. Yeah. So aside from Pete Davidson, which now we need some AI prints for. No, I really like those videos. I brought it up because that Etsy video. Watching that made me very maybe really intrigued the whole time. Just your whole process. You're like, go on Mid Journey. Okay, this is going to allow you to make the AI image
Mhm.
based on whatever you type in. Then you
Mhm.
upload it to your Etsy store, and then
Mhm.
you had to figure out how to get reviews on there and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Make them fit the format, a million different things,
Mhm.
just to get the store up and running. And you're still running it, right? How has it been since the video?
Yeah, surprisingly, today I got 3 sales out of nowhere, just, like, within a succession of, like, probably 20 minutes, so I think
Really?
I think I'm actually in the green now, and this is one of those things that I find most annoying about YouTube videos is that they'll promise the whole making like 7 grand in a month, for
Yeah.
instance, and then they'll show, like, a reputable store that somehow makes, like, $130,000 a year, and then they'll be like, "You can do it too," and then they never show the process of anything, and then boom, the video is done, and you feel inspired, and you go out and do it yourself, and it's not necessarily gonna be the same results because, well, you're not a store that has, like, 5,000 products that overtakes a whole niche within Etsy and
Hmm.
can do this stuff. You're an individual that just learned about this stuff and you're trying to replicate it. And so I find it more intriguing to talk about the process of potentially failing or potentially succeeding in the market. And I know that I think the CEO of Credit One, Richie, out there is hoping for another video, and I definitely update
Hmm.
soon with some other videos. But I do find like the whole Etsy thing pretty interesting, and the fact that like Midjourney can create like AI digital art can create basically anything that you want is
Hmm.
both very very surprising and intriguing, and also kind of scary, at least for those of you out there that are artists. But I don't know. I'm having fun with it. I created like, let's see, 50 vintage travel posters that I'm preparing to launch on my store and like
Hmm.
going fully into the vintage travel poster route and seeing if that works. But it's been a lot of fun. Like it does require a little bit of work at first, just because you have to get everything connected together, the Mid Journey to the Printify, the Print on Demand store, to Etsy.
Hmm.
You have to connect everything. But once it's done, you just kind of take the back seat and you just like watch your Apple Watch go cha-ching
Right.
every so often. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's great. I think there are definitely people out there succeeding in that market, and there's definitely a way to do it. And so I don't know. Sooner or later, like I think technically now I am in the green, and I'm
Hmm.
like technically profiting now from that store. And it only took like 2 months, so it's not that yeah, I'm not necessarily saying I'm making 7 figures or something from the store yet, but there's a possibility, and, when that day comes, Imma post a video about it, and it'll be
Right.
actually realistic results instead of just, like, some dude talking in front of a camera without actually giving an example. I don't know, I
Mm.
just don't like those videos in my opinion.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's what was so good is you went through your journey, ups and downs, and someone left a bad review, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is like the end of my store. No one's gonna purchase." And then you were able to turn that around and get some sales, and just slightly kind of be in the red, but now you're kind of in the green. You know what,
Mhm.
I think what would be really interesting. Now this could skew your whole business,
Yeah.
in one way, but I think what would be the best thing for you to do is literally just, you can't, it's not as good because I just printed this out as a normal printer, but it is the
Gotcha.
actual image. But see, it's very high level, high detail. I
Yeah.
think you should make credit card stuff. I think you should have some sort of like credit card
Mm.
AI thing, like someone holding it, or just, I don't know, an advanced looking card with like electric coming out, something cool, or like, I don't know, somehow work credit cards, and like even your travel posters, something has to do with that.
Mm.
Put a credit card somewhere, and I think the people who watch your videos would actually want to buy that kind of thing, in the
I
future.
know that people, like I know that some YouTubers out there have, like, the, like, Centurion Black card or the Amex Platinum
Yeah.
card as a canvas poster in the background, and that's definitely something that I can do. I've always wanted to make my own clothing line, so, like, I don't know,
Hmm.
like having a platinum card, like a similar one that doesn't really necessarily take away from the IP or the copyright properties
Yeah.
of AMX, but like saying it's like a platinum gang or like Team Platinum on the front would be something cool to create or something for the credit card community. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's definitely at this point everything is just something that's like a work in progress, and
Yeah.
that's something that I'm like trying to figure out what, at least with Etsy, because I think this stuff is just crazy. Like Midjourney being able to create this stuff, like you speak of like creating creating stuff with digital AI stuff. Like one of my thumbnails is literally digitally created, and it was
Yeah.
like that. It's if you want to go to my channel, it's like one of those the 7 weirdest credit cards in the credit card world or something like that,
Yep.
and it's like a picture of Elon Musk holding a card. All I typed in because I was short on time is literally Elon Musk holding a credit card, cool something, boom. And then it created it in a frame, and then I just put it as my thumbnail, and then boom. So yeah, there's
And that's
definitely
pretty good.
properties. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's pretty good. Like I just picked the one that looked like Elon the most, and not
Yeah.
necessarily saying that it's 100% Elon there, but yeah, it came out pretty good, and people liked the video. So yeah,
Hmm. Definitely,
yeah,
man. Yeah, I loved it.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to more updates. It literally made me feel inspired to actually make one, even though I never really
yeah,
thought of making one in the past. I was like, why
yeah,
not? And that's pretty cool. Um,
yeah,
but I, like you said, it is also a lot of work, to kind of deal with, I'm sure.
yeah.
Um,
And
Aaron,
it does,
what?
yeah. They should make a credit card with strobe lights and a speaker, so it's a rate every time you swipe, and a
Like an air raid siren goes off, it's declined. Oh, that would be so funny. Can you well, the closest thing we have to that is that I think it's the Venmo card. I think when you swipe it, it like lights up or something. I forget.
I think you're talking about the US Bank.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they had those, like, limited edition ones for a while, and
Mm.
then but I think that they took it away now. I don't think it's necessarily a thing now, but
Aaron wants
yeah.
a rave though. He wants an actual rave.
No, it's in race.
That's funny. Um,
Imagine just, like, having it as a totem pole at a rave rave festival.
at the top.
Uh
Oh,
Alright, see you later, the dollar man. Thanks for dropping by.
see,
Appreciate
man.
it.
I would be remiss if I didn't address Benji once per live stream. So Benji, he said, "Yo, always got something to say. Yo, Anthony, why are you in a Tesla right now using wired headphones? You're like the only person in North America using wired headphones." And he said he's got some AirPods Gen ones I could lend for a small amount. Yeah, appreciate it, real charitable. And he says, "But if wired earbuds don't need charging, that's the truth. Don't need charging."
That's
And
true.
And he says, "But if he cares about charging, why get a Tesla?" LMAO. Stupid. Listen, man, they're wired, and I don't have to think about it. You know, connection's always solid. Don't have to worry about Bluetooth connecting to the
That's
car and
true.
not the phone.
That's
And
true.
yeah, I don't gotta charge it. Go right
And
into
the
the phone.
wired look is coming back into style for whatever reason. I don't know, but
Is it
yeah, it's
really?
coming back. Yeah. Yeah. I see it way more often in the streets now.
Appreciate it, man. At least I'm for the streets. They got me covered. You
For the
know.
streets.
God. Um. Oh, and Aaron said, "Indeed," with that techno song from SpongeBob. You know that one, right?
Oh my god, yes.
Dun, dun,
Yes, that
dun,
would be
dun,
great.
dun, sh, dun, 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 sh. No
Dun, dun, dun,
latency.
dun, dun, dun,
Oh, let's go. Everybody's got my back with the wire. Let's go.
Yeah.
No latency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect. Appreciate it, guys. Man, Benji's always trying to attack me for my watch, my hair, everything. um, that's funny. Yeah, so I'm excited for all that. I know you've had you put out a video kind of just almost like a life update video recently that I kind of
Yes.
was interested in. You kind of I really loved the intro to that. I actually laughed out loud. It was like the day in the life of some word I've never heard before, and then boot camp.
Yes.
Um,
So I recently took a data analytics boot camp with a pretty well known like boot camp company called General Assembly. I think they're more well known for like the software engineering aspect of everything, but
hmm,
they have recently came into the data analytics realm. Um, so, like, for the last 3 months, I've been kinda transitioning over and, like, changing careers a little bit, which is why I said earlier that I am on the job
hmm,
market for a new job, and actually, I have 2 potential things that it might come to fruition within the next, uh next 2 weeks, so we're hopeful for that. But,
nice.
um, yeah, so, like, it's a data analytics boot camp. You kinda just, like, grind through everything you can about data analytics for the past 3 months. Like, we learned a lot of programming tools like SQL, Tableau, and this is, like, stuff that, like, some people might know, some people might not. Like SQL, Tableau, Power BI, Microsoft Excel, like, all the macros, functions, stuff like that. And then most importantly, Python. So, like, the whole point of it
Hmm,
is to, like, give you, like, a, like, hyper grinded up version of everything that you could possibly learn in like a college course without actually taking like a college level like degree or something like that.
hmm.
Do I recommend it? Do I not? Really stay it really depends on whether or not I get a job in the next 2 weeks.
Right.
But, like, some people have found success in it, some people haven't. You see those videos all the time. It's like, I'm a boot camp grad, and now I work for, like, Facebook or, I don't know, Meta or Amazon or something like that. So it does happen. I think it's more important the more important thing we need a video about that. Um,
Hmm,
the more important thing about that is just, like, the boot camps can give you the tools, but it's more of a if you don't utilize those tools well and you don't focus and you don't try to make something out of it, you're definitely not going to succeed. And for those that made those videos that did succeed, they like got those tools and they made something out of it. So it definitely does work. It's just dependent on you as an
hmm.
individual. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
but
you put
that
in. Mhm.
yeah. But that introduction, that's my ADHD coming in, where it's just like, I will think of something and I think it's pretty funny, and I'm just gonna do it, and if the audience likes it, it'll get good reception, great. And if it doesn't, maybe I won't do it next time.
I
Like
loved it.
like, like I made an avatar one too, pretty
Yes.
recently. Yes, yeah, it was like like, what was it? Capital One crushing in competition.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I made that, I manage Python developers at my job. Hey, Chad, if you uh if you want a Python developer, I'm pretty good at it. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily the best, but I am always willing to be better. So, Chad, hit me up if you if you need a Python
Maybe
developer.
we can get
Yeah.
some jobs going here. Look at this.
Yeah.
This turned to Eric Gal job hunting live stream. Love it. That'd
Yes,
be great.
sir.
Hey, maybe
Yeah,
Chad can
but
pull some strings. Yeah.
yeah, maybe. If these 2 potential places dude,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. One of the job offers, I don't know if I should talk about it now because it's a little weird, but it's with a company called Gate Group. Have you ever heard of Gate Group?
No, no, I don't think so.
Have you heard of Gate Gourmet by any chance?
No.
Okay, so Gate Gourmet and Gate Group are basically the companies that help airlines feed the people on those specific flights.
Oh,
And,
huh.
like, I've known about them for a really long time because I've someone on the internet said it's like chronically online or something like that, where you're just in the age of always being online. But I used to
Yeah.
watch YouTube videos, these insider videos that explain basically anything and everything and how they work. And one of
Hmm.
the videos that I came across was basically how airline companies are able to feed everyone on their airlines for like long haul flights. And
Yeah.
the company that they mentioned was this company called Gate Gourmet, which is a subsidiary of Gate Group.
Hmm.
And so potentially I could become an analyst for them, but it's in like, yeah, that would be a dream come true. That would be a great like thing for me because of my affinity to credit cards and airline companies. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I would be able to see like the inner workings of like how an airline company operates and how they figure out how to feed the people on their flights. So yeah,
Hmm.
that would be great. Yeah.
And Chad said, funny thing is he just lost one, and he has a slot open, and he says, "Do you do? Is that Django also?"
Django. That is not no, I don't. Oh, no.
Another.
Yes, I do, Chad. I do. That is something that I have some projects on. This is how you lie on your resume.
Right. That's
It's
it.
like, yeah, yeah, I do. Like, I've had a few projects on it, and you, like, Google on the side what it is. It's like, "Is it
Yeah.
this?" And then they're like,
R-
"Oh, yeah, yeah."
right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you just learn on the job. Love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
Um.
if the gay gourmet thing comes true, that would be great because I would love to be a part of that experience, but
That's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Maybe you can. We joked about it on another podcast with somebody. It might have been Spencer.
Yeah.
Where we like, yeah. Here's the trick: you go on the airline, whichever it is. Ask them when they're pouring you the bottle
Mhm.
when they're pouring you the Coke, ask for the whole can, and they'll give you a whole can instead of just a cup fills.
Dude,
And I think
this
Richie was like, "Man, what happened to the days where you were treated like royalty and were given like a prime rib on an airline? Now you have to ask for a can of Coke." Oh my
it's
god!
called overhead. You just minimize the overhead so you make as much money as possible.
Right, right, yeah. Oh, see, Matt Clausen has some experience. Django is
Yeah.
well development.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, I have that, definitely. Definitely have it. And
I
my
can't.
Python is more of a data background, it wouldn't necessarily be web development, but Python is so versatile, you can really do anything with it, so and Stan coming in with the I program in JavaScript using Angular, any job openings for that.
That's
Yeah,
See, this is all a
yeah,
foreign language to me. I am so unfamiliar with any coding languages and whatsoever. So this is good to
yeah.
know. But I do know a lot of people in the community are actually in this field that you're kind of branching into now. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, the beauty of it is that you can literally learn anything you want online. It's more of a,
Hmm.
do you have the necessary backbone to, like, force yourself to learn that thing? There are a ton of tools on YouTube. Like, I think you said recently on, like, Spencer's podcast that, like, YouTube is literally, like, what is it? The Library of Alexandria or
Alexandria,
something
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Yes, where, like, anything that you potentially want to learn, you can definitely find a YouTube video on it. Not necessarily like I'm not actually I'm gonna omit what I was gonna say, but like you can find anything you want, like a Python 101 course. Like
Hmm.
one of the best like programming courses out there is literally online on Harvard. It's Harvard's like online education program. It's just like I think what is it like Comp 110 or something like that. I don't know
Hmm.
necessarily what the title of it's called, but literally anything you want to learn is all online. And so I don't
Hmm.
know. Yeah, I use scripts in my cybersec job. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, John's in that field. Huh. Yeah. What's going on, Woodsy? Appreciate you dropping in real quick. Hmm. I get, yeah, it's very true. I mean, I meant it. Like, any place you want to put the volume in, put the time in to learn.
Mhm,
As long
mhm.
as you have that kind of focus on one particular item, then yeah, you can learn it. I mean, did you know anything about coding before this boot camp?
I mean, I took, like, a Comp 110 course back in college. It's not
Hmm.
necessarily like, "Oh, I got good at it." I think we learned a JavaScript version called TypeScript. It's just a different name. It was supposedly supposed to be a little easier than JavaScript was.
Hmm.
But yes, Matt Clausen said Harvard University's Computer Science 50, all the basics. Yeah, like that's a backbone course for anyone who wants to go into the computer science, the software development market.
Hmm.
Literally, that's the course that you should take to further that education. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Huh. I always like to know, like, what's the like, because now you're familiar with it, and I'm just so unfamiliar. What's like the
Mhm,
gap? Because my only exposure to this kind of language is following Tesla, and like maybe
mhm,
these programmers are fixing the AI software using machine learning to
mhm,
have these cars drive themselves autonomously in the future, right? Just based on data and fixing that over and over. How
mhm.
far is that language, whatever you want to call it, from what you're doing currently? Is that something that you would like labeling and I don't know, I guess fixing whatever things happen in the
So
cars?
like, oh, for the cars and stuff. Oh
Like that language,
goodness.
I guess. Like how far apart are those worlds? 'Cause I'm so unfamiliar.
So Python is one of those languages that was created to make the computer science world a little easier for people
Hmm.
to understand. In terms of gap, I feel like anyone can necessarily, if you have the passion for it, can learn Python very, very quickly. It's more
Hmm.
of just like a passion thing and also just kind of wrapping your head around how a computer works. Because if you don't understand how a computer works with the binary system of zeros and ones, it's kind of hard to like really understand. It's kind of like learning a language, in my
Hmm.
opinion, but a little more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
With Python, it's just, but like obviously there's other types of languages, programming languages out there too. Python, Java, C++. There's a bunch. There's so many. Like HTML, C++, C sharp, all that. That's like web development. Like
Hmm.
Java is more like, yeah, it's just there's a bunch of different languages out there that do a lot of things. And I think my cat is about to jump on me. But yeah, to answer your question, that type of stuff, I don't necessarily know. There's definitely a gap between my knowledge and anything like that Tesla does, for example. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, just curious. That's interesting. Huh.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember when I was a driving teacher in New York, I would have well, I'd have people already in that field, and I remember I
hmm,
drove with some people that were like, "Yeah, I'm about to take a 3 month course or whatever it was, like 6 month course," and
yeah,
then and then I would drive with him 6 months later because he never passed. He would say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I finished it now, and now I'm making 100,000 at some company." If that was true, I don't know, but he went from telling me he was going to start the boot camp to finishing and getting a job in that field,
hmm.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Hmm.
I think I definitely think that it was a lot easier to, like, kinda go through that computer science route back in the day. I think it was kinda like the econ of 2008, where there was just, like, an influx of people learning the computer science, and there was a lot of demand.
Hmm.
I think nowadays it's a lot harder to get in just because of the recession a little bit with, like, earlier in the year with a bunch of, computer science related jobs being unfortunately laid off. Uh,
Hmm.
well, some people might say it's more like some people were hired for not the right reason. Bring back the cat, please. Palm currently licking himself.
Bring back the cat.
Bring back
Bring
the
back
cat. Bring back the cat. Palm.
Oh, wow. What's
This is my
hmm,
cat. This is my black cat,
rare.
but he's a little angsty. He doesn't want to be here anymore. I'm so sorry, Palm.
It
But yeah, that's my cat.
looks like one of the cats in my fiance's house.
Yeah,
All black cats, 5 of them.
yeah.
Hmm.
All black. 5 cats.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Cat tax
Cat
received.
tax received.
Yeah.
Wow. I think black cats actually the best. As far as, like, manners go and how chill they are, I think black cats are the best. Orange is obviously the worst. They're animals. They attack you. They're annoying. They don't think about anything. They just hate you. Um, I think that
Yeah,
those white ones too. I forget what they're called, but I don't know. Maine Coons are cool. Uh, you
Maine Coons
know.
are cool.
Hmm.
No, yeah, I love my cat. Palm acts more like a dog than a cat, in my personal opinion.
Hmm.
But he loves to cuddle. Like we all like my girlfriend and I and my cat like literally sleep together on the same bed every night. We've kind of forced him into the same like circadian rhythm as us. So he kind of just like even though like cats I think arguably fall asleep for like what 20 plus hours every single day, but he
Right.
always genuinely like every single time we wake up, he's always next to us, like passed
Hmm.
out. So I love my cat. I'm more of a cat person in my opinion, but to be fair, I will own a dog at some point with like a Boston Terrier. I don't
Really.
know. Yeah, I love Boston Terriers. I did like I said, I did Rover in the past, and we had a client who we would take care of, who was like who had a Boston Terrier who was like one of the most obedient and like loving dogs in the world.
Hmm.
So we just fell in love with that dog breed after that, and that's something that we'll definitely be looking forward to getting once we get a yard and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
love cats. Shout out to all the cat lovers out there.
Yeah, you're definitely an animal lover to be doing Rover for sure.
Oh yeah, I love animals.
Hmm.
Love animals.
I love zoning out to cat memes. Oh my god. Aaron, is that really what we're doing? Um, if you want, we can get into some questions from the Discord.
Sure, let's do it.
So it's kind of going back to certain credit card questions.
Mhm.
Um, so actually, Matt Clausen came in and he asked, "Is there any lender who could lure you away from the Capital One Duo?" Hmm. I don't know. I don't think so.
That is a hard question. I think one day Capital One will live long enough to become its own villain and just like take away all of the great things. Just kind of like
Oh.
how American Express is doing right now. I
Hmm.
think in terms of sustainability, I don't know if the Capital One Venture X can necessarily keep up with everything. I think, like for instance, they took away the priority pass restaurant access, which was a great perk to have for those that had a restaurant near like the airport that they reside in.
Yeah.
Um, which could lure me away? Most reasonably, I would argue probably Chase, just because of the domestic travel aspect and the Hyatt hotels aspect.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a big Amex fanboy. It's just I don't know. There's just a love-hate relationship with them. At some point, if I'm making like, I don't know, 4 or 500 grand, maybe something like that, maybe
Oh my
I
god.
will be team AMX and
Let's
understand the
go.
benefits. Or like if all of us YouTube creators become big and we're all like traveling all the time just to meet up with each other, hint hint Vegas. Um, Potentially maybe the AMX trifecta, but at this point, Capital One is just more for the common man, and I am a common man, so I definitely prefer them way more than any other credit lender right now. I don't know, maybe Wells Fargo might steal that limelight with the Bill card. Maybe they'll create their Wells Fargo trifecta, and I don't know, but as of right now, to answer Matt's question, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't
Wow.
see it, unfortunately. Yeah.
Pretty powerful. Pretty
Yeah.
powerful. I could see
Yeah.
Capital One pulling me over from Amex or whoever, or
Yeah,
just
I'm
testing it
I'm
out.
trying to convince you. I'm trying to convince you to switch over. Apply for the Venture X. It's a free card. It's a free card.
I guess. I guess.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
No, Mr.
Zulfikar.
Ahmed. I'm gonna go with his last name. Mr.
Okay.
Ahmed said City is slept on. That is true. We don't really necessarily talk about City that much. The City Premier card is a pretty insane card in terms of all the. I think it was like 3x benefits out there, the earning
Mm,
potential, $95 annual fee. But I don't know. It's a $95 travel credit card, but they take away a bunch of the protection perks, which a lot of people
yeah.
really like. Like it just like if you're taking away all the travel perks while traveling, there's just no backbone to be able to support your traveling. And then if something happens while you're traveling, a delay or something, and there's no benefit, there's no protection for that, that's a negative thing to have.
Yeah.
Um, I
Mm.
do enjoy the City Custom Cash. It's a great card to have, but it's one of those cards that you don't necessarily need like a trifecta to be built around it to argue that it's a god tier credit card with the 5% back on any category that you want.
Yeah.
I would necessarily like pair up, for instance, like the Capital One Venture X with like for instance, like pull out the Capital One Venture X and like the Saver one, and then attach the custom cash to it, and then suddenly there's not really a category that you're missing anymore. The only
Mm.
category that necessarily is always missing from a trifecta or a duo is the gas. And once you get the City Custom Cash, then you're done. There's not
Yeah.
necessarily a card out there that you really necessarily need at that point. So
Hmm.
yeah,
That's a good point. Huh.
yeah.
Interesting. And actually, while you have that card out, that saver, Spencer actually came in with a question. Spencer Johnson said, "How does Eric like the new Saver One card design?"
I'm gonna be
So,
frank. This is ugly AF. I don't understand necessarily why the Saber won. Like, look at how small it is. They copied the Venture X, where like you
yeah,
have the Venture X in the top. Like, what is this? The bottom right corner of the card.
yeah,
But then they did it with the Saber one. It's ugly. Like, there's a circle in the middle, right? Why don't they put the Saber right here? It doesn't really necessarily make sense to me. Yeah, I much prefer that one. This
yeah.
is just ugly. And like what also put me off about the card is literally the fact that it's not a metal card. For whatever reason, I thought the Saver one was a metal card. Maybe the
Hmm.
Saver is a metal credit card, but yeah, it kind of deterred me with that as well.
Yeah. I think someone mentioned earlier the Saver's metal.
Yeah,
But the Saver one's not. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah. I get it. They're trying to be a little more uniform, right? Hmm.
yeah.
Um. Hmm. Okay. Okay, so Vinny Boombots, if you're watching the VOD, we did answer your question a bit ago. We'll do timestamps eventually, but which he asked which travel partner you got the most value from with a duo, but you're kind of thinking out in the future, Cathay Pacific for some,
Like
maybe.
Cathay Pacific, I would argue the Aeroplan, like Air Canada, is also a great route to go. I think their like economy tickets are like 50 to 80,000 points for like a round trip to Japan or something like that.
Hmm.
In terms of like cruises, I do also want to go on a cruise sometimes. So like the Virgin Red, Virgin Voyages or something, I can definitely also check out. But
Hmm.
there's always a way, like all the airline partners are partnered up with other airlines with like the One Alliance, Star Alliance, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
there's always a potential to be able to redeem your points for a lot more value with some of these. But yeah, to answer your question, probably those 3 for now, but in the future, if I can really grind into the credit card point game, there's probably other transfer airlines that I'll probably be utilizing, but for right now, it's probably those 3.
Makes sense, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, Abdullahi just confirming, yeah, Oakland Twindy in the Discord. I never actually looked. But yeah, he said the Sabres metal. CJ
Mhm.
said, "LL metal cards. How bougie of you, Eric."
I just want all metal. I don't want
Yeah,
these plastic. They just don't feel right in my hands.
it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I'm allergic to plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Danny Boy said, "Metal cards are sexy." Yes, they are. Very much so.
Yes, sir.
Um, so Chad Money Minutes, he might still be in here. He mentioned he had a question for you. Good question.
Mm.
I think one question that people have been trying to answer for millennia. He said, "Who do you know at Capital One that can get me out of my effing bucket?"
I do have friends that work for Capital One. Maybe I should send a message to them to see what they can do. They are more on the programming side, so not necessarily might be able to help you out. I don't really understand why Capital One just buckets people. Like I haven't necessarily asked for a credit limit increase on my cards because both of them have $10,000 credit limits, and so don't necessarily need to increase those. That's the one thing that most people find annoying about Capital One is the fact that they do things very randomly sometimes. Like for instance, pulling out hard pulls for all 3 credit bureaus for
Yeah.
no other reason. Like, even Amex only does it one time, and once you do it, like, the other cards are just soft pulls, or, like, Chase only pulls from one hard pull, one credit bureau. So I really don't understand why Capital One necessarily does that, or the fact that they bucket you or give you, like, a pretty low credit limit at the beginning. It just never increases. Like, I've heard tons of stories of the $500 credit limit on, like, a Capital One Saver One, and it just doesn't increase after, like, 10 years. I
Mhm.
don't I don't understand the thought process behind that. Like, if you're looking for people to spend more money, maybe you should be increasing that credit limit. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Yeah, a bit
Definitely.
unfortunate. Sorry, Chad, don't have an answer for you on that one. Maybe, I don't know. If I have a customer service friend, maybe I'll let you hit him up. Yeah,
Sorry,
sorry about
sir.
that.
You're bucketed.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah. Best
yeah,
best thing you do is just get a new card, man. That's it. Then you're out of
yeah,
the bucket, or at
yeah,
least hopefully, you got a new bucket. Um,
yeah.
oh, DJ Bruce Wayne, what's going on, man? He said it's been a while. He said, Eric, honestly, am I really missing out with these two cards with having Amex and Chase tries? So he's wondering, like, is he missing out by not having the Capital One Duo?
So I think there's, like, a fear of missing out mentality with the credit card world that you have to, like, complete, like, every single trifecta in the world. Like, for me personally, I recently completed the Chase trifecta and the Capital One Duo, and even with the Chase trifecta, it was, like, a kind of a skewed version where I got the Ink Business Unlimited for that 1.5% back.
Hmm.
Do I find myself missing out with the AMX trifecta? Yes and no, but in terms of everything that I have right now, there's not necessarily a reason that I need to go and pursue the AMX trifecta. I know that Anthony, you made a video recently where you talked about you not necessarily finishing any trifecta, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact, and it really just depends on your own lifestyle. If the AMX trifecta and the Chase trifecta really suit your lifestyle and get the most points out of it that you could possibly get, and you're using all of the benefits really positively, I really don't see a reason why you should be pursuing the Capital One Duo. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You already, in terms of lounge access, you have the Centurion Lounge network. You do have the Priority Pass. You also have, like, literally any lounge that you probably necessarily will ever go to.
Hmm.
And, like, the Capital One Duo, for example, you do have the Priority Pass, but that's something that both the other trifectas already cover. So it's really dependent on, like, again, like, there are amazing credit cards out there. There's, like, a gajillion, like, the like, Guinness World Records, like, what, 1,000 plus
Yeah.
credit cards or whatever. Do you necessarily need to get all of them? No, you don't, especially ones that overlap in categories. There's just,
Hmm.
like, go for a lifestyle that better suits you. Like, if the AMX trifecta better suits your lifestyle, I'm not gonna rag on it. It's just, for me personally, I don't really necessarily need it right now, but in the future, you'll probably see a video where it says, "Watch me apply for the AMX Platinum card," and then you're
Yeah.
like, "But Eric, my lifestyle changed. There's not necessarily a reason why I can't get a credit card just because I hated it in the past." I don't know. It's
No,
yeah,
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And I
yeah.
honestly, in any other world where I didn't have a platinum, didn't have an Amex Gold, and there were no subs to consider, uh, if the subs weren't a thing, probably for the
Mhm,
foreseeable future, I'd probably just be a guy with the Capital One Duo and probably just have a lot of money back on my groceries and fly once a
mhm,
year, and I'd be good. I'd be pretty much
mhm.
good with that setup, to be honest. In fact, I may even just get to that point in the next few years once I get rid of all the subs. You never know.
Yeah.
Um, the platinum card, I actually like. That's why I mentioned I'm going to keep it open for another year. I want to see all the value I could possibly get, just because I'll be flying, hitting up
Mhm.
these lounges for the first time. So I want to see if there's true value from all of that me personally can take advantage of. If not, maybe just cancel the plan next year. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I was
uh,
I was meaning to ask people, like, who have the platinum card, now that there's, like, an authorized user, like, increase from, like, what was it, 175 for 3 to 195 for each.
yeah.
Like, do you expect it to increase also in the annual fee at all?
See, I don't think they will raise the annual fee, at least for the next couple of years, maybe, since
Mhm,
that's how long it's been since we've had the first increase. Like when I got my platinum card, it was 550. Now it's 695.
mhm,
The reason being is because they did just raise the annual fee on the Canadian one by $200.
Yeah.
And then they made these changes here, to the American Platinum card. Um,
Mhm.
so like, okay, yeah, raising the annual or the authorized user fee to 195, $20 extra. Getting rid of
Mhm.
Audible. Getting rid of some language on
Not the
getting sign up
audible.
bonuses. Yeah, I know, right? And got to give us the Wall Street Journal. So all those
Yeah.
different things. I'm like, if they were gonna do it, I felt like they should have just done it all at once, right then and there. Unless it is like a boiling the frog theory, and just kind of it's gonna be little by little. But that seems like a dramatic change that would have hit first, and they would have left that other stuff on the wayside. Um,
Mhm.
they probably would have got more value from the annual fee raise. I don't think so. My gut tells me probably in the next couple of years. But you never know. Like they could just out of the blue, $100 raise,
I mean,
$50 raise. I don't
my question is just how much more can they raise it? It's like,
know.
will it be one of those, like, credit cards where it's like it costs $1,000 every single year to just keep the card open? It's just like it's not viable for, like 99% of the market. It's just like the $799 in Canadian dollars, I guess, like, because Canadian dollars are, like, slightly cheaper than US dollars, okay,
Hmm.
you can kinda digest it a little bit, but, like, $7.99 for a credit card, especially the Canadian one, which isn't as powerful as the American version,
Yeah.
is just insane to me. Like, I don't know. Like, when the news came out, I was very shocked, and, like, a lot of people, like, a ton of people made videos about it, and, like, everyone was kinda taken by storm, and also, I think Calby also said that he might potentially be canceling it, right? As well, because like or
Yeah.
switching over to the Amex, Delta Reserve
Yeah.
instead, just for that Delta Sky Club version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And actually, before we move on, I
Yeah.
think
I was
Chad
about to say.
Chad Money
This
Minutes, this super chat is powered by AMX.
Let's go. With a nice Amex
Oh,
Blue Cash
we don't
preferred,
have a
hopefully.
Capital One shill, unfortunately.
Hey man, he's getting 6%
Uh,
back on that super chat right there with the with
oh,
the Blue
true.
Cash preferred. He's killing it. He's saving money. I appreciate you, Chad.
Appreciate it,
Um,
Chad.
yeah, you're a good man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Me and Chad, we got to do a Tesla talks one of these days, man. I told you off camera, but yeah, appreciate you, man. Powered by Amex. Oh, speaking of, I'll just address the elephant in the room. Since I'll say it,
Mm,
since no one else is gonna say it.
mm.
Something that we've been meaning to bring up to you for a long time, actually, since we
To
met.
me.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Um, this is something that it really has bothered me, and actually a lot of people in the community, but everyone's too afraid to say it because you're a big guy, you work out and stuff. Um,
Oh god.
so I just wanted to ask you just up front. So like this card, right? What is this called to you?
The green card. Oh wait,
What?
what is that?
What's the,
Oh, sorry, it looked green. Amex
what?
Platinum. Amex
Oh,
Platinum.
what's another like name for it? Like what if he shortened?
The platinum card.
No, like full name, but I think you said American Express Platinum. What's like shorter?
AMX.
Yeah, so AMX. What's the deal? What's the deal with AMX?
Am I saying it wrong?
The way I'm hearing you say this, see, it's like American
AM.
Express. I'm seeing you say AY dash MEX, or AYA
Yeah.
MEX. So this is a problem, and I feel like it had to be addressed, like now. Um, what's the
See,
deal with
it
AMX?
was a marketing ploy to talk to me about my team where I would say it a little differently than other content creators, just so it sticks in the brain a little bit more. It's like, why is he saying it like that? And then like
Right.
towards the end of the video, maybe you think that he's gonna say it right, but he never does. And then you like go
Yep.
back and go back and think, oh, maybe I'm gaslighting myself, and he's actually saying it right. I'm gonna go listen again. I, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the professional answer. But
Got
to
it.
answer your question, I don't know. I think I may I don't think I've heard anyone else say it the way I do. I
No.
just like when it says AMEX, my brain naturally gravitates towards AMX, where I say the
Oh,
A and the M
um,
and then X.
yes,
I
got
don't
it.
know. It's a my thing. It's a my thing, and I think that's what makes me unique in the credit card community. There's no right way to say it. Common engagement, exactly. Even though I've never
Right.
seen anyone ever comment necessarily that I say it the wrong way,
Oh
but
my god.
Amex. Wait, then how do you say it?
Well
Amex?
well, I'll tell you
Amex.
that. I'll tell you that in just a moment, but
Okay.
everybody in the chat, let me know how you say, uh, AMEX. How do you say do you
AMEX.
say AMX? Do you say it Calby, he says Amex? Um,
Amex.
do you say it like me where I say Amex, the Amex Platinum? I say Amex. And even CJ said, "Not gonna lie, I've been thinking during this stream, why is
Amex.
Eric saying it that way?" No one
See,
else has
it's
noticed.
retention. It's retention. CJ's been here the whole time. It's retention value.
Yeah,
AMX.
and he's been gaslit to think, "Wait, maybe he's saying it
I
correctly."
am saying it correctly.
Yeah,
Amex.
Eric's right.
Amex?
I think it's
Amex.
Amex.
Amex. I'm gonna
No,
start saying
it's
it
not.
Amex.
No, it's not. We're not at church. This isn't the Mormon church, man. We go Amex.
Amex. Amex.
Amex. Right. Um.
Amex.
Am Amex.
Amex.
I say Amex. Being from New York.
Amex.
Yeah. I don't know how you spell that, but ah, as in apple. A
Ah.
A is in apple. Amex.
AMX.
AMX. Oh my.
AMX. There we go. See, that's the beauty of the English language, right? You never necessarily know how to pronounce a word. You just kind of copy it from everyone else.
See, that's a good point. Well, that's true. Everybody's a cookie
Yeah,
cutter when it comes to. There's no such thing as accents. I've said this for many years. You're just
yeah,
everybody's a cookie cutter and following however their parents spoke, or nobody
exactly,
actually has an actual
exactly,
accent. It's a joke.
exactly.
That's why I can turn mine off. Um, oh Lord. Oh, CJ said it isn't American. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, American. I'm an American. American. I don't know. It could be an accent
Oh
if you
my
go
God, it
down
could be.
south. If you go more down south, it could
Oh.
be an accent right there. So,
Got that American Express. Actually, that's perfect. That is how
Ameri
they would say it here.
American Express.
Amex.
America Express car.
Right. American Express card. Um, is it
I
Apple?
think it
Yes.
says AimX.
M.
AimX. You gotta flex it with the
I don't think that's AIM. I think that's
Amex?
Amex.
Amex. Amex.
Amex. Oh my God. How many different ways?
American. I'm an American. American.
Caesar says Amex with a weird Spanish accent. So Amex.
Amex. See, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying. There's so many different ways to say it. I mean, everyone's pronouncing it different in the chat. You got Kate going like this, which
yeah.
is a new thing. Never seen this before. Then you got Amex,
Oh.
Amex with CJ. You got Amex with a weird Spanish accent.
Yeah. Caesar.
Oh
Kate
my
said
goodness.
Kate said no like a Jersey accent.
Oh, the Tex-Mex.
Amex.
Um, um, Aaron Simon says it's actually pronounced Tex-Mex. You're
Oh,
right.
that's what we were
Tex-Mex
thinking of.
Platinum.
That's what we were
Tex
thinking of. Right. The Tex-Mex Platinum. Oh my God.
It's Italian American, Mike.
Italian American.
Hey, maybe I'm just saying it the Asian way. Maybe that's just the Asian persuasion. Is it AMX?
Right.
I don't
Huh.
know. I personally like saying it the way I do, but
AMX. Well, it's I think it's more syllables the way you say it.
yeah, AMX, AMX,
AMX.
AMX, AMX. You're right.
Yeah, you
You're
got an
right.
extra
It's I'm
syllable.
wasting I'm wasting energy saying it.
Oh my God. This is gonna
Or
be.
it's AAMX. If you want to be Key and Peele, it's AAMX.
Is that an Aaron thing?
It's a AA
Is that what that
Rock.
is? Okay,
AAMX.
A Max. Hey, look,
AAMX Platinum.
hey man, what are you paying with that? A Max?
I'm paying with my AAMX card.
Oh my God. Uh, oh, he did say that.
AAMX.
Matt Clausen. This,
Obviously.
yeah, it's way down the rat hole. The rat squad's gonna come after us.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying it wrong, sir. Marketing.
Mark. This post was sponsored by this post was this post was powered by Amex.
Amex, right.
Amex.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my
Whoo!
goodness. Ah,
AMX is going to the moon? Are they? Yeah, I heard they had a record, quarter, record
I
profits.
mean I mean, it makes sense. They were handing out the Amex Platinum card out like candy to everyone, so pocketing that
Yeah.
$695 annual fee, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Hand over fist.
yeah.
Um, so, X with a weird Asian accent. Eric, pronounce it X with a weird Asian accent. Huh.
Oh, Matt
Amex.
Clausen. Gonna send you both to Principal O'Shaughnessy.
Oh my god.
Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Is that actually the principal's name?
Yeah,
Shaughnessy?
it's
Oh my god. I can imagine.
Principal who?
Right.
Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Is there any other things that are mispronounced in the credit card community? I think that's like the worst offender. Um,
That's pretty bad. Amex. The
trying to think.
bifecta versus duo. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, that is a little bit of
Yeah.
yeah, that's a thing. Hmm,
The duo. I like the duo more.
the duo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
calling it a duo over the bifecta.
Hmm. Yeah. What else do we have? Chase. It's all the same. Yeah. Amex is the most contested for sure. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Amex. Amex. AMX. Now I'm confused. I'm gonna say all three versions in a video. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what catches on more.
You're gonna yeah. It's gonna be a common engagement's gonna be through the roof. People are gonna be like, "Why is he saying it three different ways?"
That's my retention value right there.
Honestly, I'm about to do it. See what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, another question that has been brought up on a lot of these streams, another serious one that people always wanna
Mm.
that do want to know, and it's been the last few ones that I've heard some great responses from Josh, Spencer. A lot of people know it's coming. Um, really good question I like to ask which is, um, so for you, Eric, personally, do you do boxers, briefs, or zipperless pants?
I go commando.
Okay, didn't even bat an eye. Didn't even.
No, I
No.
think I go boxers. I go boxers. I like to as they say, air the puppies out.
What the puppies? Is that what they call that down there nowadays? They call those puppies? Never heard that on a guy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Only on women I've heard that, but all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I wear boxers. Not the ones that are like tight, but I don't know. Some people have that preference. I don't know. I just like boxers. That's the first thing I bought when I became a man. When I was like when I was like 12 or 13 or whatever
Right.
at the store. But I don't know. That's just always been my preference. I
Got
do
it.
wear both though, but if I had to pick one, it has to be the has to be the boxers. What
Gotcha.
did everyone else say? I guess I didn't go deep enough into these podcasts.
They're usually right at the end. Right when
Okay.
I like to turn the podcast to debauchery. That's usually
Yeah.
when I want to do that. But I felt it coming, so I was like, let's throw it on. They usually the answer initially. So if I say boxers, briefs, zipperless pants, the first reaction is, huh? Zipperless pants, huh? You're like, what is that? I've never heard that before.
Joggers,
See,
zipperless pants.
that's what my fiance first said. She's like, aren't they just like sweatpants? I was like,
Mhm.
what are we talking about? So usually I don't even think they end up with an answer. Actually, I think Spencer and Josh. I don't even think they had answers. I
Is
didn't
it
think
too
they even told
taboo of the
us.
topic? I think
Maybe a
I
little
love
personal.
I love sweatpants. My god, I love sweatpants. They're just like the most comfort thing. Like for me personally, I know that you like to wear your suits for like real estate and all that.
All right.
But for
Yeah.
me personally, my outfits, if you see me out in public, I'm not gonna look the best. I don't dress to
Hmm.
impress.
Okay.
Unless I'm going to work, maybe I'll put on a dress pants, dress shirt, something like that. But
Yeah.
mostly my outfits at home are a this huge hoodie that I bought for $5 at UNC. It says Sea
See,
Hill, Chapel
Hill.
Hill from UNC.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
sir. And
Huh.
then it's just some type of joggers. I used to wear the Cotton Ons, but recently I've moved over to Lululemon. But that's just my personal preference. But I love it.
Kate said, "Hey, he has a full sweatsuit on, doesn't he?"
No, I'm wearing shorts unfortunately, but if it's the winter time, you'll definitely see me like in a they call it a grout fit, which is a gray outfit. It's just all gray.
Never heard that before. A
You
grout
never
fit.
heard of a grout
Huh.
fit? Maybe I'm a bit of a zoomer for those for those out there, but
Huh.
us zoomers call it grout fits, which is just a gray outfit. Everything about it is just gray. Yeah.
Interesting. We used to just I don't think we had a term for it. It was just, "Hey, sweats." Like, "What's going on, sweats?" And that was it.
Yeah,
A grout fit. Got it.
a grout fit.
Um, oh, Kate's wondering, "Oh, you're in Lulu's? That's big money." Is he a baller for
I like
Lulu's?
I like Lulus. They
Hmm.
just feel nice on me.
They feel nice on I don't know, I never got into sweatpants, literally. I just, I don't know, it's either shorts or suit. It's like nothing in between. It's one of those 2.
Suits for me are very uncomfortable, but maybe I'm just not, like, in the price range where they become comfortable, but
Right.
I
Yeah,
haven't necessarily I'm not in that realm where I necessarily need to, like, go into work in a suit. Like, that's not something necessarily I need to do.
yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know,
You
I
need
like everything to free flow. Flow freely, if you
oh,
know what I
really.
mean.
Yes,
If you know what I
let
mean.
the puppies breathe
Let the
too.
puppies
Right.
free.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's true. Once you get a, once you get a $5,000, $10,000 three-piece suit, then you feel like
A
money.
tenth
That's
a
I,
tenth?
I don't, but my broker definitely does. My broker at real estate, he
Holy.
walks around with some really wealthy suits. My suit's like 400, I think total, or 500 total. It's
Dude,
pricey.
that's still pretty pricey. Yeah,
It's pretty
I don't know.
expensive.
I'm not a connoisseur of suits, unfortunately. I just like my go-to is athleisure wear probably, like the
Hmm.
Lulus, and then I actually do like the store called Muji, which is like an
Hmm.
Asian inspired store. They have it in like Seattle, New York, but it's called Muji,
Hmm.
MUJI. Really love that brand. But yeah.
Huh. I don't know.
I'm like one of those people that once you find something that's comfortable, I will buy like 10 of them, and I just
Hmm.
won't buy anything for the rest of the year.
It's
Yeah.
true. You can ask some people that have known me this long, but for the last since I'm 21, I think I bought
Mhm.
exclusively collared shirts for like just walking around. So it's year round collared shirts from Target, uh,
Exactly.
whoever else, and that's what I feel good in. Um, uh, TJ Crusoe. Jesus, this question always some debauchery with this question. Um,
I didn't know that you asked this question. I guess I don't stay long enough, but
I was going into this like I can't keep asking this question. I was like maybe this is the last one, but I think we got to keep it going. It tells you so much about people, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Um, oh, Ron, one day Anthony will be able to afford the Conor McGregor pinstripe. So you know what's so
Oh
funny? I
god.
literally wanted a Conor McGregor suit at one point. I did. His website has a bunch of nice ones, not like the pinstripes, but some are really cool. And
Oh,
they,
he sells suits too? I know
yeah,
that he sells doesn't he sell tequila?
yeah,
They all
yeah.
sell tequila. Did you know that Kevin Hart sells tequila now?
No, I didn't know that.
Dude, I went to a liquor store yesterday to buy some soju, Japanese, sake, but,
Hmm.
I went in there and there was, like, a tasting table. It's like, "Do you wanna try Kevin Hart's new tequila?" And I'm like,
Hmm.
"I didn't know that Kevin Hart made tequila." I tried it. I'm not a tequila fan, but, I mean, for those of you out there that like tequila, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I did not know that. So, yeah, it is very. I wonder why it's so common. Like I have my Tesla tequila that
Mhm,
Tesla made, um,
mhm,
and I've tried Proper 12, his whiskey,
yeah,
Connor's whiskey. I've had that, um,
mhm.
and I think The Rock has his own whatever. I don't even know what it is. If it's whiskey or tequila, I think it might be tequila. Um, but it just seems like the go-to move. As soon as you become big enough, just create a an alcohol product like that, and then
I
you're
guess the
good.
margins of making money is probably pretty high. I have no idea why. Maybe tequila doesn't take as long to prepare? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder.
Compared to other alcohol? I don't know. I'm
What
not an
if
alcohol connoisseur, so no idea.
what does Tesla tequila taste like? I don't know. Never gonna open it. I'll never know.
Dude, all you gotta do is keep that for 10 years and then sell it. You probably
Right?
make a fortune. That's what
Oh
I'm
man,
saying,
I'll be
dude.
making good money now that you can't buy it anymore with the liquid inside. Let's go.
Dude.
Um, yeah, yeah, it's funny. One thing I've been trying recently too, which I've actually loved, is Mr. Beast bars, the Feastables. I
Oh,
never
yeah.
thought I would be into it, but I was like, his thing popped up in Target with a QR code with his face,
Mhm.
and he's a bunch of Feastables, and we had it, and we were like, wait a second, there's like no garbage in here. Look at all the ingredients. It's literally like, and it says it on the packaging. There's only four ingredients, a couple
Yeah,
things, unlike
yeah.
Hershey's that has 50,000 laundry list. So we tried it, and it was actually better than Hershey's. I was like, all right, and we started getting them. Now we're a little bit addicted. But I was like, man, the power of marketing. Just have the face. I wouldn't have tried it if I didn't see his face at some point, watch his videos, right? But now that
Yeah.
got me in, and now I'm completely perfect 100% acquisition. Now we're only getting Mr. Beast stars from now on. It's crazy,
I
wild.
think the reason why it's, like, there's not really anything, like, in the ingredient section that, like, you can't pronounce is because the man himself, I think, has celiac disease or something like that,
True,
which
huh?
is he's just one of those individuals that unfortunately was blessed with a less than adequate body, so he has to watch what he eats, so for
Yeah.
himself, he just made it so that he can eat it, so
Hmm.
probably that's I think that's the definite reason as to why it's one of the more healthier chocolate brands out there.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. I think my favorite what's your favorite? What's your favorite one? Have you tried them all?
Yeah. I think I tried all of
Yeah.
them. But I like the crunch one the best.
I like the crunch one too. It just reminds me of the, normal crunch bar that I
Yes.
used to love, so, yeah, I love the crunch one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, the crunch bar was great back in the day.
Yeah.
um, that's funny. Yeah. Huh. It's wild, but and actually,
Mhm.
I don't even know if you're familiar with this, but Sledge asked the question. He said, "Why would you choose the Venture X over the Surge Mastercard?" That was
I saw this question. I have no could you educate me a little bit on the Surge card? I know the Surge drink from back in the day before it got discontinued, but I have no
oh,
idea what the Surge Mastercard is.
if I'm being honest, I don't even know. I just know that Sledge is the CEO of First Premier Bank, um, and every now and again he has some fantastic cards like the Surge Mastercard, and these kind of ones that fall into this category, and he always just wonders why people don't like them more often.
Is this I'm what is this? Continental Finance.
Huh,
Surge.
what do you see?
Uh, initial credit limit ranges from 300 to $1,000. Double your
Great.
credit limit. It's a credit build. It's a secure card?
With a
I
$300 to $1,000 annual fee?
Yes, sir.
Great.
It's a triple B rating of A+. plus. I don't know
Oh,
what that means. Monthly reporting, it's a terrible credit card.
oh, careful. That's Sledge's company, man. I think that's Sledge's company.
Is this Sledge's company?
Yeah, man.
Continental Finance. Surge. I don't know. To answer, Sledge's question, it's because I didn't know about the card. If I knew about the card at the beginning, I would have applied for the Surge Mastercard. Trust me,
Right.
Sledge. Trust me, Mr. Sledge.
And Alvaro said, or asked, said, if they came up with it, would you buy the Amex tequila or the Capital One tequila X? Hmm.
Oh. I would think Cap no, no, bear with me. I think Capital One's Tequila X would be better than AMX's tequila. And the reason being is because I feel like tequila is drunken by a younger demographic on a normal basis. The normal demographic of tequila drinkers are for like parties and stuff. So in
Okay.
terms of that, I think Capital One is gravitates more towards the younger audience. So I think Capital One's tequila is better. Capital One Tequila X Tequila.
The venture capital X tequila. Let's
The
go. Let's
Venture
create.
X.
We have to create our own.
Oh my goodness.
Let's create our
The
own.
Venture X tequila.
I mean, I'm with you. However, I assume I don't know. Tesla made their own, so I want Amex to make their own. I just think it's if you're gonna be on the level of high class and status, I
Yeah.
want the highest status possible. I think Amex makes that. I think it'll be a cool A. It'll be a big A, and there'll be
Yeah.
tequila. You could fill it from like here or something. Switch it around. It's a V for venture venture capital.
No, but, like,
I
for
don't
the
know.
Venture X, wouldn't it be an X? Wouldn't
I
that look
mean,
cool
I mean
too?
that's pretty cool. Yeah, that is
But
pretty
then
cool.
again, isn't Twitter technically an X now? Is that
It
allowed?
it
I
is
don't know.
X. Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
So good. These are the questions that we need to know. We need
We need to
answers
know them.
towards. Yeah,
Yes.
that's hmm. And CJ, question: does Eric feel lonely on team no gold? That's right.
Usually the question is team gold versus team rose gold,
Right.
and I've never taken a side on this stance ever because I
Whoa.
don't personally have the American Express gold card.
Yeah.
Which side is more popular, the team gold or the team rose gold side? I think the team gold side is more popular, right?
100%. Yeah. Every day of the week. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did I say team rose gold just for the
I mean,
I don't
if
know. I personally like the way the team rose gold looks.
oh
I think
oh
aesthetically it's just a better card.
oh
CJ, you can clip this in your next video if you want to. Eric Gao is team rose gold, ladies and
get
gentlemen.
get off the stream. Get off
Eric
the
Gao
stream.
is
Get off the
team
stream.
rose gold.
Get off the stream. Nobody needs you here
Team
anymore.
rose gold.
Take a hint from your shirt and chill.
Chill.
We don't need this again. We don't need no. This is not going to happen again. No. We're cutting this off. All right. Last time we kind of got beaten a little bit with the Josh the rose gold lover over there.
Yes, sir.
We can't. No, we're
You've
not.
had two
No.
consecutive people with Team Rose Gold. I think that's just telling you that Team Rose Gold is the better team here,
I'm gonna have to
Anthony. I
have
think
no. I'm gonna have to have Sledge on next because he literally threw his rose gold in the garbage. So I'm gonna have to have
Oh,
him on
really? Oh
redeem
my god.
in the trash.
Oh
Literally
my god.
threw it right in there. Oh Lord. Um, however, I must say that I will have to unfortunately bid adieu since my battery is about to be 5%.
Mm,
So I'm fearful that we may shut off at some point if I get too crazy.
mm.
So I appreciate you, Eric, for being here, man. And I swear I'm not cutting this off just because you said rose gold. I swear, but maybe a little bit. All right,
I
let's
think this
get
is
on
a
the hell out.
conspiracy. This is a conspiracy.
It's definitely not the
Oh,
reason. I can't allow this. Cut his mic off. Cut it. Can you cut it? Can you take the?
hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, right. Um, no, but I really, I appreciate you being here, man, and being on with me.
Yes, sir.
This was like the real. This is one of the fastest hour and no, is that how that works? An hour and 12
Almost an
minutes?
hour.
That's not
That's
an hour and 12 minutes. No, that's 2 hours.
hour 52. Hour 52.
Hour 52, right?
Almost 2 hours. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's this is the fastest it's ever been. So this was a blast and a really amazing conversation with you, man. Um, and and it was like this when we met in person, which I forgot to mention, but yeah, we did meet in
Yes,
person. It
sir.
was good
Yes, sir.
conversations all around. So we'll definitely have to do this again at some point
Yes, sir.
if you're down for it.
Of
Um,
course. Love it.
I always like to do a rapid fire of everybody who's here before we go. So appreciate
Sounds
you
good.
guys. Alvaro, John, John McKinstry, DJ Bruce Wayne, Josh, AA Ron, Mr. Potato, CJ, Josh Gable, if I didn't say it already. Oh my God, Abdullahi, Chad, Kate, uh, I know Sancho was in here, Matt Clausen, all you guys, all you guys.
There's so
Um,
many.
the Dollar Man for and Chad coming in with super chats. Appreciate you guys
Yes, sir.
being here until next time. Right, we'll be here. So Eric, I guess I'll see you. Of
Yeah, appreciate you having me on. It was great. Had a
course,
lot of
man.
fun.
Thank you, man, and appreciate everybody being here. So, oh yeah, what's your end thing? When at the end of the video, what do you do?
And as always, thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there, everybody. Peace.
Peace. Take care, everyone.
Peace. Bye.